We now know that climate change is a hugely urgent issue, and really we stand at a crossroads. Down one road we've got a clean green future of electric vehicles and solar power and energy efficient buildings. Down the other road we've got climate chaos, floods and disasters on a scale we can't imagine. Now's the time to act. An international agreement on climate change in Copenhagen is vital. We need every country to lead on this, every government engaged in the solution, and then we can unlock a clean green future, create jobs and new industries, and everybody can make smarter green choices in their homes, from the vehicle they buy through to the energy they consume.
The HSBC Climate Partnership is our flagship environmental programme. We're working with 4 international organisations over 5 years to clean up the world's rivers, respond to climate change in the world's forests, and to carry out new research that just hasn't been done before to tackle the challenges of climate change. The Climate Confidence Monitor has been established by the HSBC Climate Partnership and is now in its 3rd year. What we want to do is to understand the consumer attitudes to climate change in countries around the world, and we're focusing on 12 countries, half of which are in emerging markets like China, Mexico and India, and half of which are developed markets such as the UK and the United States. The key trend we've seen is that there's much more concern in the emerging markets than countries in the West. And we believe that's because it's the emerging markets which are much more vulnerable to climate change in the years ahead, and that's being picked up in consumer attitudes to this challenge that faces their countries.
People haven't understood the stakes that we're playing for until quite recently, until the last 3 or 4 years. That's why I think we have a much better chance of getting a very strong agreement in Copenhagen than we might have had 3 or 4 years ago. These next few weeks, November and the early part of December 2009 is of fundamental importance, and it will be public pressure that will be the most important single factor in whether or not politicians come to an agreement in Copenhagen.
The survey shows us that 7 out of 10 people around the world support governments spending money on solving climate change just as much as spending money on saving their national economies. What we know to be true is, actually there's green growth, there's green jobs, and we can do these 2 things together. We can save the planet and save the economy. Over the past few months, we've seen some historic action. We've seen India change its position and reach out on a global deal. We've seen Japan say they're going to reduce emissions by about 1/3 of today's levels by 2020. Together, the momentum's building. So we have an opportunity at Copenhagen. There's still a lot to be done. We need the US fully on side, but there's progress there. It's a doable deal.